everybody, and welcome back to the Galactic Armory. My name is Aaron.
And I'm Jimmy.
And we are certainly not here today because I forgot to turn the mic off mute off our first recording. So we're going to be re-recording this one.
There's so much magic lost in the last one.
It surely never happens to anyone, especially me. But today we're going to be talking about this N7 Mass Effect helmet, right?
Yeah, the one that you are totally aware of and fully understand all the lore behind it.
I've played 30 minutes of the first Mass Effect like 6 months ago.
It angered me less when we first talked about it. I'm actually angrier this recording.
Just full of vinegar today. But yeah, a nice small indie game studio that no one really knows. We're tackling this helmet. The files are from our friend Kevin at Dungeons and Starships. You can find him on Things. He sponsored this video, this helmet build. In this tutorial of a helmet that nobody knows, we're going to be covering two carbon fiber tutorials because it is all over this helmet.
It is peak 2007 cool sci-fi.
Right. Like put carbon fiber on everything.
On everything.
Make it futuristic.
And this helmet is absolutely covered in it, and we will be using two techniques. One that didn't work.
It happens.
Yeah, even to me. And another option, which is vinyl wrapping to create a carbon fiber finish.
We're going to cover all that in this video, so let's get right into it. So like I said, the 3D print files for this helmet came from Dungeons and Starships, the Things page, and we printed it all out on our Bamboo A1.
Yeah, the Bamboo Labs A1, which was provided by Bamboo Labs themselves for the intent of reviewing it.
Right, that was a couple months ago, and we were working on the review video, and then they announced a total recall of, of the printer. Midway through our filming of it, so we're like, you probably don't want us to do a video right now.
Yeah, but we think now that we're actually in a position to give a little bit of a fleeting review of it, now that it is back on the market.
Yes, they've sent out new parts or replacement parts.
And we're still using ours, so I mean, despite the recall, every single time we turn on the machine, it's
it would warn us. But all the pieces of this helmet were printed on that little machine in a rainbow of different colors.
Yeah.
But that's not going to matter because as we print them out, we need to fill out the 3D printer lines.
Right.
Even though we're going to be applying carbon fiber to this, we still need a smooth surface to do that.
Yeah, the carbon fiber is so thin that you will actually still be able to see layer lines underneath it.
Right. With the A1, the prints were actually so nice that we only needed to Bondo the seams between the pieces.
Yep, and then just hit the rest of it with some filler primer. That's really it. I mean, we were able to get a pretty good polished edge to the end of the edges of the metal. So
yeah, with very little sanding.
Yeah, I mean, the A1 actually impressed us for an old school bed slinger,
We
were really surprised. Most of my Spartan is currently printed on using the A1 and
still get some good results off a bed slinger.
Yeah, a really cheap price. The current price will put some down. And it's a great entry model for a lot of people who are maybe just getting into 3D printing.
Right. Very affordable.
Very affordable, very small. Not bad.
But obviously you can still make helmets with it.
Yeah. And these files are split up with the intent of being printed on the current Bamboo Labs small build plates.
This helmet, though, is a bit wild. It has geometry in all the weirdest places. And I do not envy Kevin when he had to split up this helmet.
Yeah.
It's wild.
There's like floating parts overlapping other parts. But I have to say, Kevin did a fantastic job of separating everything up for ease of assembly and ease of painting. We were very impressed that we didn't have to get round areas to sand them. Everything was separated in a way that made sense for a cosplayer and for a maker to make at home.
So once we had the helmet all smoothed out and some base colors laid down, I believe it's just black, some metallics, this candy apple red up here in the stripe. We were able to do the first method of our carbon fibering
attempt. Yeah. So we've seen the method of hydro dipping for a long time. You see the Hicks dipping their guns and
PlayStation controllers.
Yeah, it's always like PlayStation controllers.
Even like big army helmet domes.
Yeah,
that,
phone cases.
Swish it around.
It's really satisfying. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, I want to.
Yeah, we want to try it.
Yeah.
So we got a kit from
LiquidConcepts.com.
That's right, Liquid Concepts. Yeah, they had a carbon fiber sheet that we could try.
Massive big sheet.
Why don't you explain the process of hydro dipping real quick?
So yeah, hydro dipping is essentially getting a water bath at a sort of exact temperature range. We used about 86, 87 Fahrenheit. This water bath will then have a piece of like almost like a vinyl wrap, really thin vinyl wrap.
Like a film.
Yeah, just placed on top, and then when you spray an activator on it, it will just sort of start to shiver. It'll start to like wrinkle and then go
expand and it'll spread out.
It spreads out and it starts to like continue to spread out and continue to spread out and they get thinner and thinner.
But then you just take your piece and essentially dip it under the water.
Yeah.
It'll like cling to the surface of it as you
immediately
put it below the surface.
Yeah, this like almost like oily, greasy finish that can then just be washed off immediately.
Right.
And it's a really cool method.
In theory.
You get it right. Which after quite a few attempts, I got something close. Basically anything that can have air pockets, anything that's complex geometry and sort of like curvature, it really doesn't like that much because it will bunch up in some areas, it'll spread out in others.
Around this ridge here,
Yeah.
it could be pretty rough.
It was pretty rough.
And for a pattern like carbon fiber that is very geometric and very patterned, those stretches or those pinches are very obvious.
Yeah, so
unfortunately,
we got there eventually. We had the water bath going at an exact temperature.
Yeah, what'd you do for that?
Don't tell my wife, which I seem to have to say a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
That's a
recurring thing.
Yeah. So I stole our sous vide from home. For those who don't know what a sous vide is, it's a water temperature regulator that you use to like cook steaks in bags and like temper chocolate to exact temperature.
It just feeds the water through a heater and keeps it, a certain temperature.
With a little thermostat on it, and it just cycles the whole thing. So the entire water bath is all exactly one temperature.
Right, it'll take a little bit to heat it all up, but then it'll hold it right at the temperature, which
is
perfect for hydro dipping.
Yeah, so had to clean that out after.
Yeah,
I haven't told her.
When you sized out the film, cut it out, put it on water. The process is pretty simple.
Yes,
I think it's more of like a
really
right. I think it's more of a like picking the right thing to hydro dip.
Yeah. Flat surfaces, that's really the way. And it also depends on what your dip, what material, what finish that you're trying to dip. Yeah. If it doesn't really matter to get the geometrically, perfect patterns and you're just looking for, a Halloween themed Glock.
Right.
I don't know. It shouldn't matter. You get your spooky scary skeletons all over your gun real quick. There's a time and a place for it. This didn't end up being it.
We will try it again with some future helmets.
Yes.
Future things. I'd love to do like a Damascus patterned helmet, like a clone trooper.
Got Damascus on the brain, brother.
Yeah. So we moved on to another one.
So I have been recently working on my own Spartan, the Mirage Spartan suit, and across certain detail elements, there is this exact carbon fiber finish. And I wasn't going to hydro dip a load of like little parts of a Spartan, so I got for us a load of vinyl wrapping used for cars.
Right, vinyl wrapping comes in all sorts of different finishes. It's the same material that I used for the visor of Master Chief, the life-size Master Chief statue. Yeah, as it works on the life-size statue, it also works on a life-size wearable helmet.
Yeah. And it's so easy to apply. It is crazy how quickly you can get such a good finish. It's all just a heat activated wrap that just melts the glue on the inside. It becomes a little bit more pliable. You can stretch it and wrap it around. When you apply pressure to the adhesive that is melted, it will bond really quite well around corners. You can actually work quite a lot into one piece. This whole middle brow is one piece. On the back here, each one of these levels are one big piece, and you can just stretch it and cut it as you go, and it will come out really well, really easily. Don't like it? Don't like how it's finished? Heat it up again, pull it up.
Peel it right off.
Peel it right off.
Yeah.
Either replace it or just move it around. It's so easy.
Yeah, like when I was doing Master Chief's visor, I tried probably 6 or 7 times. If I didn't like it, just peel it off, start again.
Yeah, and it's cheap. That's the big thing.
Yeah, the material is, I don't know, like $20 for,
big
for a roll.
Yeah.
We got a giant roll of carbon fiber because, you know,
we like it.
We like carbon fiber.
We are still in 2007.
Right. But yeah, very cheap, very affordable. You know, if you want just a specific color or material, it's not that expensive to get a sheet like
Amazon. One thing to keep in mind, this is PLA plastic. And we are using heat-activated wrap. That simply means that when you are heating it up, make sure you're heating up not the plastic.
Right.
Not the plastic.
You said the wrong thing.
Let's get this right. We are heating up the vinyl, not the plastic. Because there's a small point where the adhesive will activate, but your plastic won't melt.
Right. We
And
definitely don't want that.
Fine line.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
that trust me, there were points when I was working on my own Spartan where I was like laying down the vinyl and just felt my thumb just sink a little bit. Yeah, that was touch and go. Didn't want to do it on this. Managed to get it, applied to the vinyl separately and then layer it on. And peel it up,
Gotcha.
spread it as you go.
Okay. It seems like a pretty straightforward process, just a little bit time consuming, to
that
get
was it.
all of the different layers and
Yeah, just cut out more than you need and layer it over the whole area and then just trim as you go. Easy as that. Really recommend this method. I even came in on the weekend just to finish up the helmet in time because I really liked working on this. I really like this material. I really like the files, the color combo. I really like the game, unlike some people.
Look, it's hard to catch up on a game that's 17 years old and enjoy it.
There's the Legendary Edition or whatever it's called. I don't even know anymore.
It still looks like it's made in 2007.
You play RuneScape. You can't talk.
So once you had this helmet fully carbon fibered and all ready to go, the final piece was just a little bit of weathering, right?
Yeah, and there's very little needed, but there's just enough to catch the eye. Because it's a lot of black on jet black, you need to just hit these edges, these sharp points, just with a little bit of, I use some chrome sort of silver effect. You can use even white, you can use a gunmetal, dry brush edges. That is just to pick out the sharpest points.
Right, just to give the impression that the metal's been rubbed off or the paint's been rubbed off in that area.
Yeah, it's not battle damage, it's just use, and that matches the design in the games. That's all that needed to be done, just maybe a little bit of an oil wash on the metallics, hit these fake lights, I just airbrushed white and airbrushed a little bit of blue to create a glow effect. Really, really quick on some of these details.
So we got the visor. So I believe that this is just a Hobart face shield, right? We use it for all of our flat black visors in all of our helmets. This little faceplate comes off with the magnets. Look at that. Big head friendly. Thank you very much, Kevin. And then
just overlaps and pops back on.
Yeah. The last thing we have to do to this helmet is clear coat it to protect it. And Jamie about had a heart attack while he was doing that, while you were filming it.
Yeah.
Jamie, what happened?
What happened, indeed. So I talk about this in a lot of the videos, that when you are spraying a clear coat over a surface, you are resurfacing the top of it, right?
Kind of reuniting the top layer. It'll get rid of tape residue or any other finishes. It'll take a gloss, kind of bring it back down to whatever. If you're using a satin, it'll turn it satin.
It standards out the surface.
Right.
Which turns out is something maybe not advisable using carbon fiber. Because carbon fiber, when you're looking at it, it's lines going this way hitting the light and lines going this way hitting the light. Well, when you're applying it all just one surface, oddly enough, it immediately removes the carbon fiber effect.
It made the helmet just black. Just that was it.
Jet black.
Yep. And it happened before your eyes.
Yeah.
That was the most pained thumbs up at the end of that filming video I've ever seen.
I started pacing around the workshop for 10 minutes, just I'm gonna have to start again. I'm gonna have to take all the carbon fiber off.
That was hours of work putting all this carbon fiber on. But Jamie, what happened?
A miracle, I guess, because it, soaked into the carbon fiber. When it dried out, it resurfaced again. I came back to the paint booth 10 minutes later, and the carbon fiber finish return.
But still,
That was the longest 10 minutes of my life.
there's some pain and anxiety in the moment. So if you're clear coating carbon fiber vinyl wrap, don't be alarmed
Don't
if
panic.
it goes fully black on you and then dries out and returns the pattern.
Yeah, that was a scary moment. I had to go hug my dog after that.
Yeah. Play the bow clip.
This was a bit of a journey, a bit of a learning process. I had to thank Kevin from Dungeons and Starships of challenging us to this helmet. Mass Effect was a game that I really loved growing up.
I'm happy for you.
Yeah.
I'm glad that was part of your childhood.
And the animosity that we have will never leave.
He can certainly never talk to me about it. Just,
Glaze over.
Yeah.
He was more prepared to learn about Warhammer than he was to learn about Mass Effect.
oh yeah.
Yeah, this helmet turned out fantastic. We are looking forward to Kevin receiving it later this
Send
week.
it
We're going to be
off to
shipping it
Canada.
out. Yeah, the cold north,
Where this helmet will live forever.
as far away from you as possible.
I don't care where it goes. That's
As long
the
as
thing.
it's not in your office.
Right. Well, everybody, thank you for watching. Thank you to Kevin from Dungeons and Starships, and thank you to Bamboo for the A1 printer. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned that even the pros can make mistakes or can freak out and panic and try different techniques, and they don't always work. And we won't talk about recording a full video with the mic muted and the audio being trash. But anyway, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one.
Bye.